So in this video, we're going to learn about compound inequalities. So it'll be very similar to our variable qualities that you learned in the last video. By the time you're done, you can understand the difference between an and an or inequality, and then you can also solve and graph a compound inequality. So compound inequalities are either and or. So first with the and, when we're doing compound and inequalities, is a range. We are ranging between a set of numbers. So here I have an advertisement. We are ranging between 25 and 50% off. So when we see and inequalities, you're going to have the variable in the middle. You're going to have your two inequality signs, either less than or equal to, depending on what you have, or you could have greater than or equal to and then another greater than. And then on this inequality, we would have 25 over here and 50, saying x is in between 25 and 50% off. An or inequality is when we are either I want this or this. So if your parents give you a choice, you either can go to the movies or you can go to the mall. You have a choice. You have to pick one or the other. So an or inequality, you're going to have one value. So x is either going to be less than 5, or you're going to actually have the word or in it. X is going to be greater than 10. So if I would actually graph this, here x would be less than 5, or then I would have 10, x has to be greater. So notice they go out. We're in an and inequality. We can go back to the previous slide. This graph, we would have 25 and 50, and actually in this case it should be equal to, because we can't have 25% off. And then it would be in between. It's a range from here to here. And again, on an or, it would be out from here to here. So we can write a compound inequality to represent the situation. So the ages of the children of the class are 5, 7, 12, 6, 9, and 4. So in this case, this is a range. It's an and inequality. I'm going from 4 all the way to 12. So I can have A in the middle. The lowest age is 4 and the highest is 12. So I want to go greater than 4 but less than 12. So 12 is my highest, and since I do have a kid that is 4, it's equal to, and then I do have a child that is 12, it is also equal to. So on B, to get a B in algebra, you need at least an 80% or lower, or at least an 80% and lower than a 90%. So here again, it's a range. We're ranging from 80 to 90, so it's going to be another and inequality. So I'm going to do G for grade. My two numbers are 80 and 90. So I need to go greater than 80, but I can actually equal to, because I'm at least, and then less than 90. If I got a 90, it's an A, so I do not need the equal to sign on that one. So here are some graphs of compound inequalities. A, again, notice it's and because we're ranging. So if I actually wrote the compound inequality for this, it'd be 3 and 8. X would be in the middle, or whatever variable you pick. We're going to be greater than 3, but less than or equal 8. And then since 3 has the closed circle, we are equal to 3. B would be an or inequality. So I have negative 5, and x is less than negative 5. Or, and you actually have to write the word or in inequality. We can't write it like an and. We have x has to be greater than 1, and neither one is equal to, since they are closed circle or open circles. C, we have negative 3 and 12. This is an and inequality because we're at a range. We put the x in the middle. X is greater than or equal to 3, but it's also less than or equal to 12. So when we're solving compound inequalities, we're actually not going to write a sentence of our solution. So what you need to kind of think of it, when we solved equations, I did those lines. Well, what we have here are kind of two sides. So we have 3 parts. So what you do to one, you actually have to do to all 3. So I'm still trying to get the variable by itself in the middle. So I have a positive 4. So I'm going to do the opposite of that, which is a negative 4. And so I'm going to do 7 minus 4, but I also have to do 8 minus 4. Again, you have 3 parts to balance it out. So I have 3 is less than x, which is less than 8. So when graphing my number line, I have 3, I have 8, both have open circles, and then x is in between. So in B, same thing. I have 3 parts to it. So just like solving before, I can get to add 3. Just a reminder, feel free to stop the video at any point and try to figure it out on your own. It's good practice, and then you can always check with the video as I'm going through. So we have negative 6 is less than or equal to 2d, which is less than or equal to 16. Now I divide by 2. We get negative 3 is less than or equal to d, which is less than 8, which we're done because we're left with the variable isolated in the middle. So on my number line, I have negative 3, I have 8, I have a closed circle, and then it goes to an open circle. So again, we're not going to write a sentence to describe our solution. So on C, so again, we have 3 parts. I'm going to move the 5, so I'm going to minus 5. So I'm left with negative 3 is less than negative f. Do not lose that negative. It's less than 0. So I need to move that negative, so I'm going to divide by negative 1. And hopefully something's going off in your head, like, oh, we did something, we divided by a negative. And you should be correct. We flip the sign. So instead of less than, it's now greater than f and greater than 0. Graphing it off. 0, put them in numerical order because it is a number line. 3, should have open circle, and then we're in between. D is our first OR inequality, and you kind of keep them as 2 separate equations. You're just going to solve this one, solve the one on the right, and then you just graph them together. So here, I'm going to minus 3. I have 4b is less than negative 8. Divide by 4. I'm dividing by my positive, so I don't touch it. Don't touch my sign. V is less than negative 2. Or, then I do this one. Minus 7. Negative 2v is less than negative 6. Divide by negative 2. Well, again, something should go off your head. Divided by negative, so not less than, v is greater than 3. So graphing this, they should be going outwards since it's OR, if I did it correctly. So I have negative 2. Open circle is less than. Open circle is greater than. Alright, so that is it for this lesson. To review, remember and is OR and goes inward. We're going to have a graph like this. OR goes outward. Okay, so you're going to have a graph like so. Same operation equations, but just remember again to flip the sign when needed. So when you multiply by a negative and when you divide by a negative. Again, reminder, don't forget your reflection so I know you watched this video.